Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. Wait for a few people to hop in here before I get to what I'm talking about. Chop up some little heavyweight stuff, man. I'm gonna go with a more popular topic: is Wilder versus Breazeale. And as you guys get up in here, man, I'm driving around right now, so I won't be able to read. Try to get to the comments, but if not, I'll read them on the archive. All right. Rashawn Williams was good, bro. All right, man. So you know what? We know that Wilder and Breazeale is coming up May 18th. Coming up May 18th, man, and I was sitting back and I was watching some Breazeale fight, Ugono fight. But the interesting thing about the Ugono fight, Virgil Hunter was doing the commentary for that fight with Brian Kenny and I believe Real Deal, Evander Holyfield on the commentary team. Now, one mistake that they kept making during the whole telecast that was bothering the hell out of me, and I remember watching it live, and it was bothering the hell out of me too, is they kept bringing up Breazeale's weight as if he used to be this 218-pound fighter, which was totally contrary to the truth, because during I believe it was Brian Kenny on the telecast, but he kept saying that Breazeale just put on so much weight. A year and a half prior, he was only 218 pounds against Mansour. He got it wrong. Mansour weighed 218. Breazeale in that fight was like 252 pounds for that fight. The lowest he's ever been in his career is 248. So they kept going back to the fact that, or which they thought was a fact, that he was 218 pounds and he's just put on all this weight and he's fighting out of shape, out of weight, Now, could he have been too heavy for the Ugono fight? Yeah, he was around about 263. I think for AJ, he was like 255. He's usually around 255, somewhere in there. He was 255 for Molina. I believe it was 255 for Carlos Negron as well. All right, so that shit just kept bothering me. And he said that because Brian Kenny was like, yeah, and he was 243 for Joshua. No, Joshua was 243. Breazeale was like 255. They kept getting his weight mixed up with his opponent weight. All right, so they're kind of going in there with the preconceived notion that he just put on all this massive weight and he used to be 218 pounds once upon a time, which that was never true. All right, just a mistake during the telecast. All right, but ironic though, because this was the night that Wilder fought Washington and Breazeale fought Ugono, and then Wilder and Breazeale, whatever they got into at the hotel after the fight, they got into it. But yeah, have I seen Hunter and Breazeale train with each other? Been in their training camp so far? They referenced the AJ fight and they were talking about the Ugono. And Virgil Hunter said, he was like, man, Dominic Breazeale, I'm sure in his camp, they're probably, something they should work on was his timing the speed, trying to time the speed. He should have been trying to time the speed better of AJ. And on fight night against Ugono, Hunter was like, he should, try to time his speed. Wilder is a fast puncher with his 1-2, he's pretty quick with it. So I'm thinking that they're going to do what Hunter was saying against the more speedier fighters, which is try to time speed. Timing beats speed in boxing. Is just, can you, perfect it in the right way to make it work for you and not against you. All right. So I think that Hunter is a real cerebral guy, like I've said before. So I think he would take this into their training camp and have him try to work on timing Wilder's speed. All right. Another interesting point that he brought up is he said that it is something that Breazeale, he gets to the continuity of doing. He'll put his high guard up and try to just walk through you, and play the whole I'm just going to walk through your punches to get to mine type thing. And Hunter said that he shouldn't do that as often in that fight against Ugono. So I'm guessing my guess would be he's going to tell him the same thing for Wilder. Yes, two different fighters, but still, putting the high guard up, taking shots is putting the high guard up, taking shots, regardless of who you're fighting. All right, so again, that's what comes in with the timing. Taking that half step back, that half step to the side, doubling up on the jab, things of that nature. Another thing that I think he'll work on with Breazeale is protecting his body a little bit more. Moving his head and protecting his body, because he'll put that high guard up, but he'll have his elbows so far apart. Ugono was able to land very good work on Breazeale's body. So I think he'll try to tighten up that as well. Defensively, again, you're not going to change this guy overnight, man, but there's some things you can probably just, he's going to try to implement try to improve on when it comes to Dominic. You know what I mean? I think these are some of the things. Because why? Because he blindly was talking about these things when he was commentating Breazeale's fight against Ugonna. All right. One thing that Ugonna was doing well that Wilder's going to try to do is do what? Land big right hands. And Ugonna was landing them motherfuckers, man. Just Breazeale was taking a lot of them. He got dropped. He was getting hurt, you know, but he was able to recover, hold on, clinch, tackle. He did whatever he had to do to stay in that fight that night, man. He did some of everything against Ugonna. You dig what I'm saying? But that's just real quick, man. I'm not gonna make this too long, man. But just watching, you guys go and watch Virgil Hunter. Maybe some things that I missed. I'm driving, so I really can't. I should have wrote this down, but those are some of the things that I noticed he was talking about. Is he was blindly just calling the fight, not looking at it as Breazeale's going to be his guy to train, working on his timing, stiffening up that jab, moving his head a little bit more, and not just putting the high guard up and just taking unnecessary shots. Just one, okay, you're going to take a shot, but just take unnecessary blows to get to the guy. When you have a long reach like that as well, and I know some of these guys you're fighting have a long reach as well too, and dig into, oh, that's another thing that he said about guys. Now, this was when he was calling the fight. All right, I'm not sure how he feels about a guy like Jarrell Miller or Dillian White or Adam Konowski or anybody like that, but he was talking about how these heavyweights, this Virgil Hunter, he was talking about how these heavyweights of today, damn, I had my hand over my camera, but he was talking about heavyweights of today not going to the body. And then in that fight, he was talking about Ugonna and Breazeale digging each other to the body and how he liked it. All right, so I think that's another thing. And this was something that I thought of too, is going to Deontay Wilder's body, trying to break that body up, man. Nobody likes it to the body. I don't care how much knockout power you have or what your physique looks like. Nobody likes getting shots dug to their body, all right? I don't recall any guys that are, you know, gluttonous when it's come to getting punched, you know, with body shots, all right? But that's my guess, man. Just going off what Virgil said in the Ugonna fight when he was breaking down Dominic's skill set. And even in the Wilder Washington fight, he was pointing out some things as well. But I don't know, man. You guys can go check those fights out. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that Virgil will use any of this? Or do you think, hey, he might use it, Mr. Boxing, but at the end of the day, there's no chance.